Kindred Spirits. I'm your host, Kristi Brower, and you are listening live here on Marvelous Monday on 12radio.com. And as usual, I am thrilled to be here with you. I would invite you to join me in the chat room if you're available by going to 12radio.com and clicking on chat. That will take you right to our Facebook group. If you're not a member, just ask to join, and my producer Scott will let you right in the door. You will find me in the chat room in two ways. My pinned post at the top of the page is my chat, so you can post your questions and comments there. But I am also on Facebook Live, and so you can watch the show if you want to. You can watch the video of the show if you would like to by clicking on that. I am also live over on YouTube on my YouTube channel. For those of you that are not big fans of Facebook, but you would still like to watch the show, you can do that by going over to YouTube and just search my name, Kristi Brower, and you will find my channel there, and you will find me live streaming at this very moment. So I have a lot to share with you today. I'm really excited. I had decided when I developed my Oracle deck, Kindred Spirits Energy Oracle, that one of the things I wanted to do on my show here was share with you where each card came from, why it's in the deck, and sort of my own experiences with that particular kindred spirit, because they aren't they weren't just random choices. These are specifically energies that I work with on a regular basis, and so I felt like it would be really fun to tell you the stories about why do I work with them, where did that come from in my life. And so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to share that with you today. Today I'm going to share Archangel Michael with you, and he really is my very first kindred spirit. So I'm going to show you the card on the video, and I'll post the card in the chat room. Obviously, he's a big blue and white, sort of looks like an angel swirl of energy in that card. My cards are fractals, and I don't really see these angels as physical forms, sort of like the superhuman physical form with wings that we tend to see in pictures and stuff. I really see them in energy. And so the fractals that I've created for them are not meant to represent them physically. They're meant to represent their energy, because to me that's how they come through. Archangel Michael has been with me my entire life, although for half my life I didn't know who he was. I did not grow up in a religion that taught me about angels. Some of us grow up in religions that know all about angels. I didn't. That was not a focus in the religion I grew up in. It was not a focus, really. I remember my mom talking about, guardian angels and family members who crossed over being angels and things like that. But we never talked about archangels. I really did not know, other than like in movies and TV, I had no exposure to archangels at all. So I knew that I had this protective force with me even from the time that I was a little kid. One time we were out on the desert in the wintertime, and we had a really scary experience where it was getting dark and getting very cold, and our pickup wouldn't start. And my dad was, I could tell my dad was scared, because we were very far away from civilization. This was long before cell phones were a thing. What were the chances that someone would even drive by where we were? They were not very good. And so this was scary. This was really serious. And I remember it was a very bright full moon night, and the full moon was shining on the snow. And I remember falling to my knees and praying and asking for help and, protection and safety and, whatever we needed. And I felt this presence with me. I just had this very sure feeling. And I told my parents that, help is coming. We're going to be fine. And my dad tried the pickup, and it started. And my mom and dad have always, told me a lot for a long time that they were very amazed by that experience, that they had no idea how that had happened or what had happened, that was, that was the outcome. They were kind of surprised by that, and had, didn't expect me to just fall to my knees and pray. Well, I have always been a very spiritually connected person, and I grew up in a religion that didn't really help me with that. Like, the religion I grew up in was sort of separate from my own spirituality, I guess, because I grew up in a religion that didn't really encourage my own personal spirituality very much. It was much more about following authority and listening and letting someone who, had the right credentials, which actually really just meant being a man in the religion that I grew up with, to get revelation on my behalf and stuff like that. And I never believed in that. I always had a strong connection. So I that experience stands out in my mind as feeling him very close to me. Of course, I didn't know who he was. There was no awareness of, oh, this is an archangel, this is Archangel Michael. No, I just knew I had this protective presence with me. A couple of other times that I remember very clearly his presence. One, my mom and I were in the car and we were coming home from Idaho Falls. It was a town that was 25 miles away from where we lived. And we were on an overpass, and the overpass was very icy. And our car spun around several times. My mom lost control, and our car spun around several times on top of the overpass. Now, that's an incredibly dangerous thing. I remember just closing my eyes and thinking, this is it. We're going over the edge. We're dead. And the car stopped. And I opened my eyes and I looked at my mom, and she looked just stunned. And the car had stopped in the same lane where we had started, going in the right direction. And there were no cars around us. Just the way that it all worked out, I felt this feeling. I felt this presence around me again, like somebody stopped the car. Somebody changed that outcome. And we just drove home rather shocked, both of us, didn't really even know what to think about why that had occurred that way. Another time I was driving, this is always winter driving, I guess, because winter driving can be pretty treacherous here. But I remember I was distracted. I looked down for some reason, I can't remember, and I started sliding, and I was sliding toward a median. And I knew, I had this feeling that if I hit that median, I'm going to flip the car. Like it was going to hit hard enough that it was going to flip my car over. I just knew it was going to happen. And I remember, this is crazy. I don't know why I did this. I just took my feet off the brakes and the gas, and I let go of the wheel because I just felt like whatever's going to happen is going to happen. And the car stopped, and I opened my eyes, and I didn't hit the median. I was sitting right in front of it, and I hadn't stopped the car. I didn't even have my foot on the brake. I knew that I was skidding, and so I took my foot off the brake trying to stop the skid. That was another time that I felt this presence with me, like something is just protecting me, something is keeping me safe. Then in my early 20s, I was a domestic violence advocate, and I used to go out on scene with the police to domestic violence incidents and sexual assault incidents, and I was there to advocate for the victim and help get them what they needed, and help them if they needed to go to the hospital, or help them if they needed to go to our shelter or whatever they might be in need of. Well, this was a pretty dangerous job, because not always was the offender apprehended at that time. Often they weren't, and police officers were always supposed to stay with us when we were out on scene with these situations. Like we were never ever supposed to be there alone, because, and we could be hurt. That sometimes there were guns involved, and it could be really dangerous. And I remember several times feeling very confident that I was okay and that I was safe in situations that were really scary, where someone had been really hurt, or there was, like a violent situation happening out in the driveway with the police with someone. I never felt like I was at risk in any of those situations. I always felt safe. I went into all kinds of crazy situations like that for years when I did that job. And I never felt like I needed to be afraid of that situation. I always felt like I can go do what I need to do and help this person and do my job, and it would be okay that someone else was watching out for my safety. And it was always true too. There was never any harm to me. And we had a lot of scary situations with offenders in the time that I worked in that job, but I was always safe, and I always just knew I was. And people used to ask me, aren't you afraid to go out in these situations? And I wasn't afraid at all. I've been in many situations throughout my life where I did not feel afraid. And the reason I didn't feel afraid is because I felt like I had this huge presence standing next to me, encouraging me, go forward, do what you need to do. I'll take care of it. I just always knew that to be the case. So fast forward to sort of my mid-20s, when I was really doing a lot of spiritual seeking and learning about, new age spirituality and all kinds of alternative things. and I came across the names of the archangels in something. And I'd really never heard the names of the archangels in any meaningful way before. And when I read the name Archangel Michael, I just had this huge epiphany that that's who I have been, with all my life. That's who's been with me, keeping me safe, helping me through all kinds of scary, dangerous situations, always helping me feel like I could go forward and do what I needed to do because he would make sure that I was safe. And suddenly I had a name. Um, I've been really careful not to read other people's angel information over the years. I've really preferred to just experience them myself. I didn't want to have any preconceived ideas about what archangels were or how they were helpful or what they did. For me, I really wanted to figure that out for myself. And so you'll find that there are 8 archangels in my Kindred Spirits Energy Oracle deck. That's because those are 8 archangels that I have had personal experience with. I know there are others. I've read the names of many others, but this is who has come to me. And the information that I share in my deck is the information that has been shared with me. These are the experiences that I have had with the angels. I think that it's really important that we share our own experiences and that we're encouraged to have our own experiences and not just listen and follow from someone else. That is too reminiscent of the religion that I grew up in to just, well, if so and so's an expert in this, then, this should be what your experience is. I can't do that. I grew up with that. I don't want to do that. I didn't like it then. I don't like it now. So the information that I share is simply informational. I always share a way to connect with that particular entity because you can have your own experiences and maybe your experiences are different than mine. One of the ways that I have worked with Archangel Michael a lot is in mediation. One thing that I know that he can be very helpful with is mediating difficult situations. That was something that I used to do quite a bit when I was working in domestic violence. And then I also did it a lot when I was working in a group foster home and I had kids and parents who were really kind of at loggerheads with each other or with their support staff or, various people that they weren't getting along with. I've done tons of mediation. And I find that Archangel Michael's energy is very helpful in that situation also to bring understanding between people and help to bring anger down so that people can really hear one another. That's something that I've had a lot of experience with Michael. So he's a great addition to mediation. He's probably one of the strongest guides that I have as far as direct communication is concerned. So I have a lot of guides that communicate with me in different ways, but Michael literally speaks in my ear. I hear him in my right ear, and I get, all kinds of physical nudges that indicate to me that I need to listen up because he's got something to say on a regular basis. Of course, I can call him in anytime I need him, but he does come to me with things as well, sometimes with information that I need to know. It isn't always me asking a question, it is frequently him offering information that I have that I might need. I feel very blessed to have this connection with him. I know I'm not the only person who does, lots of people do, but I wanted to share with you specifically how it has been for me. He was the very first card I made. It was the very first meditation I ever wrote because he was my first guide. And he's still very much here with me. But he was my very first guide. He was here with me before anyone else was and really helped to kick off and support my spiritual progression because I always felt his presence with me. I never felt the need to turn to anybody else for spiritual support because I had it. I already had it with me and had it with me since I was a child. It was really quite an epiphany for me when I got his name for the first time and understood who I was really working with. It hadn't crossed my mind at all because I was so unfamiliar with archangels that that's who this would be. But, now it just is like second nature. He's always there. I ask for his help and his protection and guidance all the time. We talk about him as being the protection angel, which he is. But there's a lot more to it than just that. He's not just the protection angel. He is a guide in all ways. I ask him all kinds of questions, plenty of things that don't have to do with protection at all. He's very wise and he's very willing to offer guidance and support to me. And I appreciate him in my life very much. I wanted to share today my Archangel Michael meditation. Many of you have heard it before, but I thought it would be fun to share it. It's interesting to me that it's the very first meditation that I wrote. And if you are familiar with me at all, you know I have a lot of meditations. And he's the first one I wrote. He's the first card I made for Kindred Spirits Energy Oracle. He really is, kind of my top of the heap guide when it just comes to I'm 42 years old and he's been with me from day one. So, I have a very strong relationship with him. Let's go ahead and do this meditation. This is called Archangel Michael Protection. Close your eyes and take a few deep breaths. Allow your body to settle and your mind to go quiet. Call in Archangel Michael. Ask him to come to you and protect you. Visualize Michael's bright blue energy surrounding you in a protective bubble. Feel the blue energy forming a protective barrier around you, keeping out all negativity. This energy acts like a force field protecting you from unwanted energy. Take a moment to tell Michael all of the things you would like to be protected from. Remember that his blue energy can protect you from negative energy, emotions, people, situations, and anything else you feel you need protection from. Now visualize love and all positive energy passing through the force field, but unnecessary energy bouncing off, keeping you safe. Thank Archangel Michael for his love and protection. And when you're ready, take 3 deep breaths. And open your eyes. Okay, and that's Archangel Michael Protection. That is the featured meditation for the week. If you get my newsletter, then you know that. If you don't and would like that meditation, just go to kristibrower.com. You'll see where you can click on featured meditation, and this meditation is available for download there today. Well, all of this week, it's always available over in the free meditation section, but it is the meditation I'm featuring for the week. The other work that I do regularly with Archangel Michael is the work that I do with dark entity attachments. So you know that I do dark entity attachment clearing, and that I do a lot of work with helping to free people from those kinds of attachments. And Archangel Michael is definitely my protector and assists me in the clearing and releasing and transmuting of those entities. So I've worked very closely with him, had some, I would call them absolutely shocking visions with him, depending on the kind of attachment or entity that a person has. Sometimes there's a battle that ensues. It's what makes me think of the picture of Archangel Michael with his foot on the head of on the neck of a serpent with his sword. We've all seen that sort of a biblical way of looking at Archangel Michael. It reminds me of the scenes that I see with him when he helps me to clear a dark entity attachment. Sometimes he has to battle it into the vortex of white light to transmute it into light. Other times they're little and not that hard, but occasionally there are some that are really have quite a fight to them, and that's the kind of thing that I witness as it's happening. I don't tell very many people stuff like that, but I know I can tell all of you guys. So Archangel Michael is definitely a powerhouse when it comes to supporting us and helping us. So let's just go through what the Archangel Michael card says in my Kindred Spirits Energy Oracle deck. The primary message when Archangel Michael comes up is the issue is about safety, security, protection, and needing to ask for help. It's a time to be aware of your surroundings, trust your intuition about who to trust. Archangel Michael is definitely a root chakra energy, and it's also about stability and in home and relationships. The challenge when Michael comes up is fear, need to feel safe, threat, and risk. So those can be the challenges that might be happening in your life when the card comes up. The crystal is black tourmaline. I'm going to hold that up for the video, and I'm going to put a postcard of it in the chat room. But I chose black tourmaline for Archangel Michael because he is a root chakra energy, definitely a grounding energy and a safety, security, and stability energy. And black tourmaline is a root chakra and protection stone. And so, although it's not blue like Michael's energy is blue, I think the energy of black tourmaline is a very close match to Archangel Michael's energy. The meditation on the card for Archangel Michael is this: Dear Archangel Michael, please surround me in a blue bubble of protection, keeping out all energy that would harm me. And we all know about that blue bubble of protection, don't we? That's one of those things that most of us in the metaphysical community have learned about, is how to do that, how to call in Michael and ask for that blue bubble of energy. I'm going to post a postcard in the chat room of black tourmaline. But if you're looking for some protection in your life and some grounding in your life, highly recommend black tourmaline as a stone that, is grounding and connects your root chakra to the earth. It brings balance to the body, mind, and spirit, because we need that sense of safety, security, and stability in the root in order to have that connection and have that feeling of balance. And it also protects us from low vibrating energies. This is a stone that you can carry with you and bless to create a protective bubble around you to help to support the Archangel Michael bubble. And it will help you to do that. So some people wear black tourmaline or carry black tourmaline, and it's been blessed to create a protective barrier around them. And that is something that you can do for yourself. It's very easy. You just hold the stone in your hand and you give it your intention. You tell it what you want it to do, which is, to protect you and to keep you safe and to create a protective barrier around your energy body. It's very simple. Blessing stones is not a hard thing. It's often comes across as being a real skill, but it really is just about intention. Okay, let's see. I know there are several comments in the chat room. I am going to be taking your questions and requests for readings and healings. So if you want to post those now, that would be great. Get a little drink here. And then I wanted to share some of your comments about Archangel Michael, because we know I am not the only one who loves him. Sorry, hang on one second. Facebook is doing that thing it does, where it slows everything down. Okay, here we go. Maureen says, I can also resonate. Archangel Michael has always been my go-to and has given me and my family protection and comfort during very good and difficult times. Yes. Let's see. Kevin says, I have always loved the idea of Michael, but I've always been drawn to Raphael. I recently attended a workshop where I felt the facilitator to have been blessed by Archangel Raphael. Truly magical. That's wonderful. We're going to talk about Archangel Raphael on here because he's another of my kindred spirits. And, a lot of us are drawn to one archangel more than another, or maybe we're not drawn to archangels at all, which is fine. But it's okay if Raphael is more your go-to guy than Michael. You don't have to work with all of them unless you really want to. Let's see. Raven says, yay, Archangel Michael is my go-to man. Let's see. Oh, Raven says, I had a lucid dream with Archangel Michael. He was saving me while I was under attack from a shadow person that lived in my previous apartment. Wow, that's really cool. Have you heard the stories about the people that are saved on the side of the road by some, like angel, but they appear in human form. They assist people on roadsides and then they disappear. And a lot of people believe that to be Archangel Michael because one of the things that he really focuses on is protecting people during travel. Really cool. Linda says, I have a similar near death experience involving a car. Someone definitely intervened for sure. I felt a presence also. Yes, the other car accident that I didn't mention, but this was probably the biggest one in my life because it changed the direction of my life. I was in a car, I was the passenger in a car. I did not have my seatbelt on, which was not very bright. I was 21. And my friend and I were going down a highway. It was a 50-mile-an-hour highway and a car pulled out directly in front of us. My friend driving like I don't know, she was in NASCAR. It was crazy because we I don't know how we didn't T-bone this woman. We were so close to her. We should have T-boned her, but we didn't. We got around her. And as we went around her, the skid going around her blew a tire. And that caused us to go into another skid that blew another tire that threw us across the road in front of another car, and we landed in a field. Now, how we didn't get hit, there was no actual impact in that accident. I will never know. Other than I fully believe that this was another one of those times when I was protected. Because I look back on that experience and I cannot figure out how we got through it without being hit or hitting someone. We were going too fast to be able to get around those cars the way that we did. But we did. We didn't hit anyone. And although the injury from that accident that I had really changed the direction of my life in a positive way, it could have been a much worse injury than it was. Let's see. Maureen says, I love working St. Michael. Lately, he escorts me to work and keeps me safe. Love him. That's awesome. Yeah, and I know some people call him St. Michael. That's more of a Catholic experience, right? With Archangel Michael. But I think we all have grown up with different experiences with him based on the beliefs that we grew up with, as well as our experiences with him individually. Linda says that she loves black tourmaline, and Marina says, I have black tourmaline on. I worked with Archangel Michael this morning. That's wonderful. I love it. Linda's showing a piece of hers, black tourmaline of hers that sits on my desk in front of me, big chunk by my bed, carry with me every day. Yes, I love it. It's one of my favorite songs as well. Oh, thank you, Raven. Post the sigil for Archangel Michael. Very nice. So I knew that you would all resonate with this because I know that many of you work with him as well. But I wanted to share, my ideas behind him and my experiences with him. These experiences didn't come from what anyone else said. They just my own. And I love the fact that I know someone and have someone present in my life that I can call upon for protection at any moment, at any time. It is a very powerful experience to be able to say that, and not that we can't all, because I know that we all can, but for whatever reason, this has been my life experience that he has been so prominent for me. And one other thing about it that I think is very interesting is you probably know that I have a son and he is adopted. We got him when he was 14 and he came to us with the name Michael. Yeah, I didn't name him that, but he came to us that way and we adopted him and he's now our son. And I find that very interesting also that someone in physical form named Michael would come into my life the way that they did. It definitely has significance for me. Okay, I'm going to get to some of your questions and comments here in the chat. I know you're asking for readings and we're going to get there. I did want to say that it may appear like I'm not teaching on One to Academy right now, but I am. We're just in our Master Healer series. We're about to start our second month, and this is a 4-month, 16-week process. I'm really, really proud of all of my students. People are working so hard and doing some amazing things, and I look forward to teaching this series again in September, and I am building a a waiting list for people if you think you're interested in taking this class. I will tell you a little bit about it. We meet every week for education and practice sessions, and then you are assigned a partner and you work with your partner every day in between classes. And we have a forum, a private forum where we communicate with each other, and we all take turns. Everyone in the class takes turns working with everyone else in the class at one time or another. And we work on different topics, and we work on self-healing as well as the working on someone else. But when you come out of this, you've got 4 months worth of practice working on yourself and someone else every single day. And that is a lot of experience to put behind yourself. And that's why I call it my Master Healer course. Of course, we're never done learning, we're never done growing when it comes to being a healer. But, 4 months of daily practice is a lot. You're going to come out of it with some insight and perspective around healing that you probably never had before. It's really a lot of fun. I think it's also intense and sometimes difficult because there's a lot of working on everybody's individual selves in the class, because as healers, we have to be able to work on our own stuff if we're going to do anybody else any good. And so that's why there's a lot of focus on working on ourselves in this course. We get tons of experience working on other people, plus we get tons of experience knowing more about ourselves because we're being worked on all the time. So it's a powerful experience. It's a big commitment. But if you are really looking to get the skills that you need to be a healer, to be a professional healer, if that's what you're looking for, then this is the course for you. So reach out to me on Facebook or at kristibrower.com or through the Click for Advisor system if you are interested in getting on the waiting list for the class in September. I only take a maximum of 8 people into this class because I want to give as much personal contact and teaching and support as I can to my students. And so that's why the class is small. So if you're interested, let me know. Several of you have already reached out to me. I'm loving this. I definitely am excited for my current class and know that they're going to do some amazing things in this world. And I'm really excited to work with my next group as well. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to get to your questions. Maureen says, hello, Kristi Brower and 1-2 friends. If you have time, may you please pull a card on finances? We're getting into the money for my daughter's fall tuition. Okay, let's take a look at what you've got going on here, Maureen. Oh, money. What is money, right? I am one of those people that wishes that we just didn't have to deal with it at all, to be perfectly honest. I have gotten much better as I've gotten older with managing money and understanding money and hanging on to it, but it is a challenge. It definitely is. So let's just pull a card about money for you. Okay, and we get the moth card. So moth represents perseverance and trusting that things are going to work out for you. Let's see, I'm going to post moth for you and read the rest of the card for you here in the chat room. But the moth card really is all about persevering when times are difficult and recognizing that your own will to be successful is what gets you through. So let's see here. Get the moth card up here and then I'll tell you the rest of what it says. Facebook went so slow today. Sorry, guys. Okay. The primary message is perseverance, seeking the light, and change. The challenge is giving up, getting lost, and temptation. So this is a time to really persevere, to really stick with whatever you are doing. And, you don't want to give up on anything right now. When the moth card comes up, it's an indication that you need to persevere through whatever you're struggling with or whatever you're trying to do. So it's not a time to give up on anything. Tiger's eye is the stone, and the message, or the meditation is, dear moth, please give me strength to persevere through change. So allow things to happen around you, but don't give up on anything, okay? I feel like you're going to get through it. This is a good sign. This is perseverance always indicates to me that something is coming that is positive. Don't give up, because you don't want to give up in the middle of something good coming your way. Okay, Maureen? Let's see. Jessica says that she would like a reading today. She would love some support and help. So let's see who's coming forward for you today, Jessica. Okay. We have Archangel Uriel coming through for you today. So Archangel Uriel is, to me, the angel that really helps to heal anxiety, and is an angel that is assisting with emotional difficulties. So helping to bring some calm into your system, into your emotional system, as well as just your physical body, and bringing some relief from the kinds of anxiety that can come with, just living in this world right now, frankly. Let me tell you the rest of what the card says here. Okay, so this is about emotions, looking for peace of mind, sacral chakra, and needing to express how you feel. The challenge is feeling raw, pain, anxiety, and feeling blocked. The crystal is carnelian agate, and the meditation is, Dear Archangel Uriel, please surround me in your energy. Let it fill my soul like warm honey, bringing me peace and soothing my emotional pain. So I think let's do a little energy work for you, Jessica, and we're going to call in Archangel Uriel to help us to bring you some emotional support and some relief, okay? So just close your eyes and relax. We're going to call in Archangel Uriel. Just going to fill you up with that beautiful, warm honey energy. That's what I feel like Archangel Uriel's energy feels like. That's why you might note that the card looks a little bit like it has honeycomb around the edges, because this is the energy that I always feel from Archangel Uriel. So we're just filling you up, like we're pouring honey all the way through your body. It's filling up and it's pooling in your feet, and then it's filling its way all the way up through to the top of your head. And this is just bringing relief. So whenever you're feeling raw emotionally, or when you're feeling despondent, or like emotional pain that just will not quit, Archangel Uriel is awesome to call in and do this healing with. Okay, there we go. I feel you all filled up now. So I think that's going to help you a lot, give you the emotional support that you are in need of. Also, definitely, Jessica, reach out to Archangel Uriel and ask for support when you need it. And look for other ways in your life to reach out for support. The people in your life that can help you if you tell them that you need help, okay? So speak up for that. All right, thank you for that. Let's see. Robert would like a card. I'm going to pull that. Let's see what Robert's got coming up for him. And for Robert, we pull Archangel Ariel. Yay, I love Archangel Ariel. This is all about magic and synchronicity, all about all the positive stuff that you can imagine coming forward. I'm going to post that for you, Robert. This is really good. This is a really good sign. So if you feel like you've been through a difficult time in your life, and like things have been hard and you've been struggling, now is a really good time to look to the magic and synchronicity in your life. It indicates that good things are happening, good things are coming forward, that where things weren't working out in the past, they will work out now. So it indicates the end of a difficult period to me for you. Let's see. So the primary message of Archangel Ariel is magic, nature, manifesting, synchronicity, looking for a miracle, connection to elementals in the third eye. The challenge is deception, wishful thinking, and dissatisfaction. So you want to stay in reality with this, but definitely look for those miracles and synchronicities, because they're coming your way. The stone is purple fluorite, and the meditation is, Dear Archangel Ariel, please surround me in magic. drawing possibilities to me, bringing fairies to guide me, and attracting miracles. So, Robert, it's a really good time for you. It indicates to me that a difficult time is ending and positives are coming your way. And so it's just a matter of staying focused and trusting when the good things are coming. Okay, thank you for your question. Let's see. Sean says, my middle son moved out of state recently. Do you see this being a good move as far as work for him? Oh, good question, Sean. Let me take a look at that. I feel like it will be in the long run a good move. I think it's going to be a little bumpy at first. I feel like it might not be as easy as he's initially expecting it to be and could be a little bit difficult to begin with, but I do feel like that difficulty will settle down and in the long run it will be a good choice. So he's got to stick with it at first and not give up and really persevere through, the first few months being kind of challenging, but then it's going to get a lot easier and I think that it will in the long run be a good thing. Okay, let's see. Get to a few in the video and then I'll get back to the chat room. Okay, so this is a card from Mary. Let's see what Mary needs to hear today. Okay, here we go, Mary. Oh, Mary, for you, I pulled the spider card. I love the spider card, and this is one of those cards that sometimes makes people a little bit uncomfortable, but the spider card is really positive because the spider is all about female power and standing in your own feminine power and not allowing your needs and wants to be bowled over and being true to yourself. So let's see, let me tell you what else spider represents. So this is about personal power, patience, long-term goals, and flexibility. Think about the spider. The spider is very patient. The spider has, you think about the intricacy of a web and the planning and the long-term goals that it has to take. Think also about the flexibility of that web. So I always think about, the physical attributes of a particular animal or insect and what is it about them that we can emulate. The challenge is lashing out, being rigid, impatient, or afraid. So now is a time to really stand in a place of power for yourself. The stone is pictured jasper, and the meditation is, Dear Spider, please support me in my long-term goals, guiding me to be patient and flexible. So, this now is a time to really stand up for what you need, but be flexible and be patient and allow it to come for you in a positive way. Oh, you're very welcome, Robert, and you're welcome, Sean. Okay, let's see. I know I need to get back to the chat room. I'll get to some more of you in the video here in a minute if I can. I want to make sure I get to, I can't get to everybody. It never works that way. But you can always find me at one2listen.com for, more in-depth reading. Let's see. Marina says, may I have a message, please, regarding my health? I've been feeling out of sorts lately, and I'm going to the doctor in June. Okay. So, Marina, let's pull a card on that and see what's going on here. Okay. Marina. For you, I pull the owl. Okay, so I'm definitely glad that you're going to a doctor because the owl definitely is about seeking wisdom and getting support and guidance from someone who knows more than we do. So I'm glad that you're doing that. I do feel like this is a physical issue that needs to be addressed. I don't think that I don't want to say that in a way that might sound like it's a scary thing. It is not a scary thing. It is just simply one of those things that happens to us as humans that has to be addressed and worked out. So the primary message is knowledge, wisdom, and discernment. So making good choices about who you trust. The challenge is deception, ignorance, being unwilling to learn from mistakes. So be sure that you choose to go to a doctor that you trust and that you trust what they have to say. Use your discernment to make sure that what that you feel good about the decision that's made in the course of treatment. The stone is petrified wood, and the meditation is, Dear Owl, please guide me in discerning truth. Help me to be open to truth and willing to learn. So being open to what you find out and willing to, do the things that you need to do for yourself is really all you need to know. This is nothing to be afraid of, okay? Quali says, I truly believe Archangel Michael came to me in human form when I was in New York on the subway and fainted. He appeared out of nowhere, got me back, and then vanished. My friend did not know where this tall blonde man came from and where he vanished to after I was revived. Oh, wow. I love that. Oh, I love that, Quali. That's beautiful. And yes, I have no doubt that that is exactly who came to help you. Cece says, I have Archangel Michael and call on his protection that he surround my house and vehicle whenever I go out and about, fully trusted on his guidance. Yes. There was a time when I used to own a metaphysical store and spiritual center with my family. And the weird thing about working professionally in the metaphysical community is that sometimes that puts you at risk of being attacked by other practitioners. It seems crazy because it's not something that I would ever do, but it is something that happens. People that get jealous or people that want to hurt your business so their business does better, those kinds of things. And so we were having some things like that happening. And so I built this huge bubble with Archangel Michael's help of energy over our business to protect it. And from then on, we didn't have any more of those attacks. Or if we did, the energy just wasn't getting in. It couldn't get through that big dome of energy that we built over the business. So interesting stuff that, we have to kind of think about how we use the energy and, and how this can benefit us the most. Norella says, any messages for me regarding changes happening in my life? Let's see, Norella, what do we have for you? Norella, for you, I pull the Aura card, which is the card that is representative of our energy bodies. So whenever this card comes up, it indicates to me that there's something going on in your energy body where you may be sending a message you don't need to send or that you don't mean to send. So it's a really good time to look at your energy body and really determine, it is what I'm saying what I mean to be saying from an energy standpoint. So I call the aura our walking billboards. What our aura projects out into the world is what other people think of us. It's what they get from us. It's the input that they receive when they come into contact with us. Well, sometimes the billboard needs changed. Sometimes you need a new poster. Sometimes you need a new message out there. Sometimes that walking billboard gets stuck. It gets stuck on fear, or it gets stuck on feeling unsure of ourselves, or it gets stuck in pain, and then we're not really giving the message that we want to give. So the primary message is protection, communication, and your walking billboard. So being aware of what you're putting out into the world. The challenge, low vibration, damage from trauma, negative thinking sends the wrong message. Our thoughts control our energy bodies. That means that what you think the most about yourself is what is projected out into the world about yourself. And so it's really important that you be a good steward of your thoughts and be aware of what are you putting out into the world? What are you thinking about? And how is that affecting the way that other people are interacting with you, Norella? This crystal is Tibetan quartz, and the meditation is my thoughts control my aura. I share with the world who I am and what I need and want. My energy is strong. I am protected. So I would recommend looking at your thoughts. And are you putting out into the world the message that you want to put out? Are people hearing from you in the way that you want them to? Does this make sense to you? What are you putting out and if you're not getting the kinds of reactions that you want to be getting, then really think about what is it that you're putting out there. And that starts with your thoughts, okay? All right, Kevin would like a card. I'm going to get to Kevin and then maybe a couple more of you on the video. And then it will be the end of the show. Just about. We only have 5 minutes left. Okay. Kevin, for you. I pulled Archangel Raphael. Yeah, I did. You were talking about Archangel Raphael and feeling a connection to him, and that is the card that came up for you. So I love that. I think that is very cool. I'm going to post him. Of course, Archangel Raphael is known as the healing angel. So he is believed to be an entity that you can call upon to come into your life, to come into your physical space and heal you when you are in need of healing. Um, this can be on many levels. It can be a physical issue, it can be an emotional issue, or a spiritual issue. I also call on Archangel Raphael to assist me in healing other people all the time. Sometimes I get involved in a situation where it is a group of people that need healed, multiple people, and that might be too much for me, overwhelming for me. And so I send Raphael out to heal some of those folks when I don't feel like I can do all of the work myself. So the primary message from Archangel Raphael is healing, time to rest, self-care, seeking comfort, offering support to others, developing energy healing skills, getting energy healing, and the heart chakra. The challenge is pain, illness, injury, and emotional damage. So if you have any of those things, now is the time to seek out Archangel Raphael's help. The stone is green calcite, and the meditation is, Dear Archangel Raphael, please come to me and heal me. Surround me in a bubble of green healing light and bring me comfort. So I love synchronicity, Kevin. I think that's very cool that Archangel Raphael came out for you very clearly today. Let's see. I was going to try to get to, let's see. Ramon would like a card. Let's pull a card for Ramon. I know I'm not going to get to all of you. Sorry, guys. Oh, Terry says, I love Raphael. He was with me every day of my radiation. Yes. Yes, I have definitely called on Raphael to help me when I was recovering from something, or, healing up from an illness or an injury or something like that. Okay. Ramon, for you, I pull Luna. Okay. Luna is the moon card. Luna is also the feminine power card. And I don't mean that in a gender way. I mean it in an emotions kind of way. That Luna comes forward when it's time to spend some time looking at our emotions and healing ourselves from that. And from that standpoint, I'm going to post this card in the chat so that you all can see it. And we'll talk a little bit more about what Luna represents. Can't wait to when I get to tell you about my experiences with Luna. Okay, here we go. Luna. Sorry, everything's being slow today. Okay, Ramon. Luna. The primary message is the moon, feminine energy, cycles, ebb and flow, change, the aura, and the stone is rainbow moonstone. So it's important to, be aware of ebb and flow and change in your life because like the cycles of the moon, there's ebb and flow. The challenge is avoiding emotions or digging your heels in and being hyper rational. So you want to really allow yourself to focus on emotions, allow yourself to feel emotions. Don't get too caught up in what things should or should not be. Just allow. The message, the meditation is, Dear Luna, please connect me to the energy of the moon, guiding me to allow change in my life. So this is allowing the ebb and flow of change in your life. Okay, Ramon? So not digging in your heels too deeply so that you can allow some change to happen. If you guys like the cards, you can get them by going to my website, KristiBrower.com, and clicking on Oracle cards. There is a new version about to come out that is a bigger version that has all of the descriptions on them, like the pictures that I'm posting. The first deck came out it is a smaller version, and it has a book. And this bigger version will not need a book because all the information is on the cards. So I figure, some of us like the small cards, some of us like the bigger cards. I want to share my cards with you in every way that I can. I'm really looking forward to that. So right now, if you order cards, you get the small deck, and you can get the book from Amazon, either in physical form, or you can get it as an ebook. And soon the new deck will be available. That is the bigger version with all of the information on it. So both of those will continue to be available. something really fun for me to get to read for you from my very own cards. Well, you guys, I have done it. I've talked all the way down to the end of my show. Please stay tuned for The Keys to Awakening with Velvet Dawn, followed by Kathleen Peterson and friends. I want to say thank you to all of you for being here with me today in whatever way you have been, and for listening to 1-2 Radio, where we're changing the way you listen to the world.